Who can imagine Paris without its heart? The Eiffel Tower is the world's most popular monument.
In 1884, two unknown engineers began dreaming of a project that would change history forever.
Their goal was nearly impossible: to build the tallest structure ever conceived by man.
At 300 meters, it was twice the height of any monument on the planet.
The dream belonged to Gustave Eiffel, a man who had already conquered the world with iron.
But Paris resisted. The tower was seen as a monstrous act against the city's beauty. To win over the city, architect Stephen Sauvestre turned a pylon into a masterpiece. The tower was the flagship of the 1889 exhibition, celebrating the Revolution's centenary.
The competition was a sham. The rules were written specifically for Eiffel's iron dream.
The specifications matched Eiffel's plans exactly. He had won before the first rivet was cast.
On January 26, construction began. But the Parisian soil held an unpleasant surprise. Using compressed air chambers, Eiffel allowed his men to work safely under the riverbed, digging through mud to reach solid rock. Every inch was a battle against the river.
With foundations laid, the giants began to rise. Every calculation was precise to the millimeter.
The elite was furious. They called it a factory chimney that would disfigure Paris.
Eiffel hit back. He argued that the laws of nature are always beautiful.
It was a giant puzzle. 18,000 parts were manufactured to 1/10 of a millimeter.
Teams worked in a rhythmic dance. One to heat, one to hold, and two to hammer.
2.5 million rivets were fitted by hand. A symphony of iron and fire.
No part weighed over 3 tons, making the tower as easy to assemble as a kit.
Eiffel was obsessed with safety. Miraculously, not a single worker died during the assembly.
By late 1887, the pillars stood 60 meters high. Now came the project's most dangerous moment. Eiffel used hidden hydraulic jacks to tilt the massive pillars into perfect alignment. Sandboxes provided the final touch. By releasing sand, Eiffel lowered pillars by a hair's breadth.
March 1888. The pillars met perfectly. The calculations were an absolute triumph.
The first floor was a triumph. Paris realized the iron monster might be a masterpiece. The tower accelerated upward. Work on the second level began at a blistering pace.
At these heights, the wind was constant. Yet workers moved with the grace of tightrope artists.
To reach the top, Eiffel needed a miracle. Otis designed elevators that traveled on a curve.
Massive hydraulic pumps were the mechanical heart that brought the tower to life.
By July 1888, the second floor was complete. The tower dominated the Parisian skyline.
Precision was everything. At this height, a single centimeter error would be a catastrophe. The critics fell silent. The people of Paris began to love their rising giant. Winter did not stop progress. Through snow and ice, the iron climbed toward the heavens. The final stage was the hardest, a vertical needle of iron reaching for the clouds.
Every rivet was a promise. At 250 meters, the work tested the human spirit.
It was designed as a lighthouse for the city, a beacon for the Parisian night.
At the very top, Eiffel built a secret apartment,
a private sanctuary in the clouds.
March 1889. The ironwork was complete. The tower had reached its 300-meter target.
Eiffel hoisted the flag. He had won his bet with time and the world.
May 1889. The world descended on Paris to see the marvel that defied gravity.
Riding the elevators was the future, a mechanical journey deep into the clouds.
High-altitude luxury. The tower offered dining and views no palace could match.
For the first time, man saw the world from the clouds. Paris was transformed.
Genius was in the gaps. The tower didn't fight wind, it let air flow through. The tower became a giant laboratory, studying the secrets of the atmosphere. Maintaining the giant was endless. 60 tons of paint were applied by hand every 7 years.
As years passed, the monster became the city's heart. But its time was running out.
The 1909 deadline approached. The tower was scheduled to be sold for scrap. Years earlier, scandal nearly ruined Eiffel. He turned to science to reclaim his honor.
To save the tower, Eiffel transformed it into a massive radio antenna.
Captain Ferrier proved its worth, communicating with ships at sea and border armies.
The tower was no longer just a monument. It was a global voice.
In 1913, the tower linked Paris to Washington via invisible Atlantic waves.
When war broke out, the Iron Lady intercepted signals that saved Paris.
She heard enemy secrets. The Iron Lady had finally won her place in history. The demolition order was torn up. The tower was now an immortal symbol.
Eiffel lived to see his dream accept. He died in 1923, leaving a legacy of iron.
The 1920s made Paris a capital of pleasure, with the tower at its heart.
Citroën used the tower as a giant billboard, lighting it with 250,000 bulbs.
The tower became a muse for artists, a symbol of the new avant-garde age.
Maintenance was an act of courage. Workers lived among the high iron girders.
After 41 years, New York's skyscrapers finally stole her crown as the world's tallest.
1937, a showcase of art and technology before the dark storm of war.
She stood as a silent witness, a symbol of freedom, as Europe's lights faded.
On her 50th anniversary, she became a crucial link in the nation's air defense.
June 1940. Paris fell. The tower was closed, shadowed by a long occupation.
In defiance, the elevator cables were cut, forcing the conquerors to climb the stairs.
For 4 long years, the Iron Lady was a prisoner of hate. She was still listening. The resistance used her height to broadcast messages of hope.
The enemy used the summit to test the future of television amidst the ruin.
August 1944. Paris was free. The Iron Lady prepared to reclaim her soul.
A guard climbed thousands of steps to hoist the tricolor. She was French again.
The lights returned. She was now the eternal symbol of a city that never dies.
The heart was restored, preparing for a new world, eager to see the sky.
In the 1950s, she became the mother of French television. broadcasting the future.
By 1955, the bet was won. She was the most famous landmark on Earth.
By the 1960s, she was the world's living room, hosting millions from every shore.
In 1964, France declared her a historical monument, ending all whispers of demolition.
A labyrinth of iron. This mechanical forest required constant human care to survive.
New lighting made her a nocturnal beacon, dominating the dark Parisian night.
In the 1980s, surgery began. 1,000 tons of excess weight were removed.
Computer-driven elevators allowed record numbers of visitors to reach the summit. She became a stage for the extraordinary, challenging the very limits of gravity. In 1986, a golden glow was born, emphasizing her curves more than ever. 1989, a century of iron, science, and beauty, celebrated by the entire world.
As the century turned, the tower became the clock of the world.
In the 1999 storm, she swayed 13 centimeters, proving Eiffel's math was perfect.
For the year 2000, she donned a dress of 20,000 flashing diamonds.
In winter, she became a playground, skating inside a forest of iron.
She adapted. Hidden turbines now capture the very wind that once threatened her.
A walk into the void. The glass floor revealed the height Eiffel conquered. The tower remains the ultimate destination for the height of French luxury.
The Iron Lady stands tall, ready to welcome the world once more.
History meets legend. In 2024, the tower became the heart of the Olympics.
A stadium at a giant's feet. No arena matches this prestigious view. Return to gold. New paint restores the color Gustave Eiffel loved most. Modernizing an icon. Sustainable tech ensures she remains a beacon for the future. Listening to iron. Ultrasound checks every rivet, ensuring she never falters.
Look at the lights!
It's perfect, I love it.
The world stage. In the Olympic light, she remains the soul of France.
A signature in iron. Eiffel's name is etched into the soul of the structure.
Timeless and transcendent. She has outlived her critics and her era.
A witness to greatness. She is the finish line for the world's elite athletes.
A garden in the city. The Iron Lady is now a forest of iron.
She lives and breathes. In summer heat, she grows 15 centimeters.
A dream reflected in rain.
Guardian of the night. Her beacon is a constant reminder of the city's strength. The blueprint of a legend. Every line was a step toward the future.
Seasons change, but the Iron Lady stands firm, witnessing the passing of time.
135 years later, the bet is won. It's the heart of the world.